Good morning, students. Today we have a discussion about pharmacovigilance, and this is an important topic, and which is having the new emerging of our pharmacy field, and also we expect more job opportunities, and also for our pharmacy students and as well as pharmacy students especially. I hope the government policies may give more opportunity for them. We'll just go for the discussion about the pharmacovigilance, how it emerged in the world and how it has been implemented in India. These all things we have to have a discussion today. And excuse me. In pharmacovigilance, we'll see a simple definition. Pharmacovigilance has been defined by the WHO as a science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding and prevention of adverse effects of any other possible drug related problems. It comes under this pharmacovigilance, and it's an important sector which is a threat for us, especially now, because of self-medication and the wide range of markets. So we have to see about the safety and efficacy of the use of the drug and in their adverse effect. Innocent people have been affected by this negligence. So a response to a drug which is noxious and unintended and which occurs as dose normally used in man for the prophylaxis, diagnosis of therapy of disease or for modification of physiological function is given by the report which is given by WHO number 498 in 1972. An adverse event is any untoward, that means untoward medical occurrence in a patient or clinical investigation. Subject administered a pharmaceutical product and which does not necessarily have a causal relationship with this treatment. An adverse effect, it means serious adverse reaction, severe adverse reaction, and it can be unexpected adverse drug reaction. So, serious drug reaction, severe drug reaction, unexpected adverse drug reaction. So, where we will start this pharmacovigilance? Why do we need pharmacovigilance? Even though pharmacovigilance can be dated back in 1848, the start of its modern era can be considered in 1961 important event which made everyone to come into more concentrated in this pharmacovigilance. When an Australian physician posed a question to the Lancet, that means two sides knife, he was asking why it is said to be Lancet means we know that a cancer patient is treated with cancer, anti-cancer drug or a cancer-related drug for the treatment of cancer. And if she is pregnant and we feel that the drug should save her, at the same time it should not affect the baby. But you see, the Australian physician he was telling about in this condition only, he was telling Lancet, the two knives treating a pregnant woman who is already cancer patient, and even we want to prevent the baby, about the possible correlation between thalidomide and the birth defect. When the mother is treated with thalidomide, most of the women, babies have been born by birth defects. So we are taking an example, only this one. You can see the picture. An young thalidomide victim, the girl, 10 years old, she was giving a bouquet with her toes as she presented to the Princess Anne of Great Britain in 1972. And that is she is the victim. She doesn't have both arms. It has been a birth defect due to the thalidomide adverse effect which has been given to the mother, the pregnant woman. In 1972 this event, and before that itself, USA have given the implementation when the baby born itself, in 1961 itself. Where we start pharmacovigilance, why do we need pharmacovigilance again? We are continuing. In 1962, the United States Conference enacted laws immediately requiring tests for safety during pregnancy before a drug could receive approval for the sale in the US. Other countries enacted similar legislation. Since 1962, we have lots of evidence of insufficient safety of all medicines throughout their market. Life, because marketed life means we are telling about even the self-life, even because of the adverse drug reaction. And the study of adverse drug reactions is the concern of the field of pharmacovigilance, which is gained the importance. Voluntary reporting by physician and other health providers and the consumers may alert the authorities and the pharmaceutical companies to possible adverse effect of drugs. It aims in reducing the risk associated with drug prescribing and administration and improving patient care, safety and treatment outcome. Why we need pharmacovigilance? New drugs, pre-marketed safety data, animal experiment which they have performed, preclinical, not relevantly done, not perfectly done, suppose. Clinical trials, it may not be completed. These may cause adverse drug reactions which has to be examined, established treatment even, and efficacy, safety and cost of the interest of the community or the interest of the community, and the clinical trials, even by clinical study also, it is, you have to govern and you have to see that perfectly whether they carried out. Intended for objective demonstration of clinical efficacy. These all are the things. And where we are now with pharmacovigilance. After getting definition from WHO in 2002, the European Medicine Agency in 2015, this is clear, a very broad definition that empasses not only the traditional activity of collecting safety related data, but also the concept of prevention, which implies preemptive action. In addition, the concept of other medicine related problems is introduced, ensuring that pharmacovigilance includes not only adverse events but special situations such as safety. In the context of medication errors, abuse, misuse, fatal exposure, overdose, occupational exposure, or off-label use. Off-label use also very important. Sometimes it causes more adverse effect, misusing the drug. So you should know this phrase, very important. Dying from a disease is something unavoidable, that we know that. But dying from a medicine is unacceptable. That's why we need pharmacovigilance. Again, I am repeating, dying from a disease is sometimes unavoidable, that everybody knows. Dying from a medicine is unacceptable. Pharmacovigilance concentrate if only on drug monitoring, then its process includes collecting and record the adverse event and adverse drug reactions, causality. What is the cause assessment and analysis of adverse drug reactions? Collate and code in database, compute risk, benefits, and suggest regulatory action. Communicate for safe use of drug among stakeholders. Adverse drug event or adverse drug reaction report sources, reporting system for healthcare professional, voluntary, high incidence of underreporting. Published scientific literature from PubMed, Scopus, etc. Periodic safety updated reports. Widening scope in pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance conducting advanced drug monitoring, study-based adverse drug reaction, adverse events, report of new drug includes 1. Medication error and rational use of medicine, herbal, traditional and complementary medicines, substandard medicines and counterfeit medicines. Counterfeit medicines with false label and false informations. Blood products, biologicals, medical devices and vaccines with adverse drug reactions also included. So you should know what are the things which is included in the widening service of the pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance main aim is to give clear information regarding drug safety and its risk or benefits of drug to the patient. Patients are main end users of medicine. Patient information, leaflets relates to the medicine to be provided to the patient to increase the advantage of the medication and to reduce the risk associated with them. It is essential for risk minimization by making an early detection and prevention the progression of the adverse effect. Factors influencing pharmacovigilance. These slides are very important for the students to write the examination point of view. What are the factors which is affecting the pharmacovigilance? Diseases, population, drugs, healthcare system. These all individually we have to explain. Diseases how? Like tropical diseases, not well diagnosed, comorbid conditions with multiple diseases in a same patient, insufficient follow-up of the treatment. These all the influencing disease. Population, low living standard, malnutritions, cultural specialities, traditional medicines, unlabeled and off-labeled indications. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, small children, elderly people, food habits, these all comes under population. Drugs, distribution of huge amount of drugs, poor quality standard or counterfeits, as I told, counterfeits, wrong fault information labeling and information advertisement drugs, and new drugs with little clinical experience, orphan drugs, the drugs which are specifically prepared, donated drugs sometimes, free drugs, improperly stored and delivered, lack of established manufacturers. So this is just I have given an orphan drugs means sometimes you have a doubt what is mean by orphan drugs. It's not meaning for orphan. This is orphan drug is a pharmaceutical agent developed to treat medical condition which because they are so rare could not be profitable to produce without government assistance. The conditions are referred to as orphan diseases. So like very rare, like heme alginate preparation can be done by specific pharmaceuticals, can also if they special interest it can be produced, used to treat intermittent porphyria. That means lysis of heme, less production of the heme in the body. That type of, you can see it's also one type of very serious disease. Variegate porphyria, hereditary coproporphyria. So these all can be treated by heme arginate. So just an example for orphan drugs. They are also having an influence in the pharmacovigilance. Healthcare system, underdeveloped public health system, underdeveloped drug regulatory system, no pharmacovigilance program, and if there is unqualified health workers and a poor medical service and financial shortages, these also influence like healthcare system. An importance of pharmacovigilance: complete information of unintended and severe adverse events could be finding through the pharmacovigilance. It could not be done through clinical trials which are conducted in an in vivo method. Considering this fact, many Indian organizations or research funding bodies started investing in individual drugs research and launching new products. And continuing with the importance of pharmacovigilance, we know that pharmacovigilance safeguards the population health by recognizing risk factors and the seriousness of adverse drug reaction, along with prevention and further unexpected harm to the patient. Till the pharmacovigilance, till date, is not established as an academic specialty. That is important, we need. And in the present curriculum of clinical biology, pharmacy, and pharmacology is unable to cover required pharmacovigilance skill. But we have to make it as a specialty. We have to make it as a specialty because this is very, very important to regarding the human life. Unwantedly, we cannot leave it reluctantly, then adverse drug reactions which is happening. The word which I told, you can see, a person can die with the disease. A person cannot, or we cannot accept a person dying with a drug. Promotion of safe use of drug. You see how to promote the communication between decision making, education and evaluation, and the main key players for the pharmacovigilance. You can see the market authorization holders, drug authority, media, physician and the patients. That is how to use the drugs. These all are the members which can have the communication to have a pharmacovigilance. Just a slide to show you. And we want to talk about market authorization holders. Collect, collate, validate and follow up. Follow up the suspected adverse event. All the suspected adverse event. Collect, collate, validate and follow up. The SAE means suspected adverse events. Screen the relevant worldwide literature at least once in a week. Report all serious suspected adverse drug reaction within 15 days. Submit periodic safety update reports. Company sponsored post authorization safety studies. Regularly checks risk and benefit the acts accordingly. This is about the market authorization holders. Drug authority collect, validate code, store and analyze reports, transmit adverse drug reaction data to the market authorization holders, inform healthcare professional and when needed treat patient of any significant changes, decision making, communication with all interest parties, evaluation of action taken. That's what we wanted in between, just are discussed after factors influencing pharmacovigilance. Now we should know that adverse event reporting, what all the possible reporting. This is theoretically, the student should know about this slide. Even I am telling there are some slides which you have to have a hints to write your exam, then you can clearly have a very good marks in your examination. Adverse event reporting, you can see individual case report, coding of adverse events, seriousness determination, clinical trial reporting, spontaneous reporting, aggregated reporting. Individual case safety reporting means the concept of identifiability, like name of the patient, name of the drug, adverse event symptoms. And what do you mean a code of adverse event? Adverse event coding is a process by which information of adverse event reporter called as verbatim is coding using standard technology for the medical coding dictionary such as Medra and Medscape, etc. in the online or internet pharmaceutical medicinal journals and authorities. The purpose of medical coding is to convert the adverse event information into terminology that can be readily identified and analyzed, and various steps can be taken immediately. Serious determination means an adverse event is considered serious if it meets one or more of the following criteria. What is that? The result in death or life-threatening, require inpatient hospitalization or prolongation of existing hospitalization, and result in persistent or significant disability or incapability or incapacity in patient, and result in congenital abnormal birth defects if you observe, or if otherwise medically significant. These all things have to be taken as a serious. Clinical trial reporting. What do you mean by clinical trial or serious adverse event? Reporting occurs as a result of study patient subject who experience with serious adverse event during the conducting of clinical trials, while clinical trials. This is also serious adverse events. Spontaneous reporting is termed spontaneous as they take place during the clinician's normally diagnostic appraisal of a patient when a clinician is drawing the conclusion that the drug may be implicated in the causality of the event. It is an important source of regulatory actions such as taking a drug off the market or a label change due to safety problems. What is the aggregate reporting? Aggregate reporting is known as a periodic reporting, plays a key role in safety assessment of drugs. Aggregate reporting involves the compilation of safety data of a drug over a prolonged period of time, months or year, as opposed to single case reporting, which by definition involves only individual adverse event reports. Other reporting methods, some countries legally oblige spontaneous reporting by physician. In other countries, manufacturers are required to submit through its qualified person pharmacovigilance all the reports they receive and healthcare providers to the national authority. Others have intensive forced program concentrating on new drugs or on controversial drugs or on the prescribing habits of group of doctors or involving pharmacists in reporting. Now we are talking about the important next slide is risk management. What are the risk managements? We have seen reporting, we have seen factors affecting, and now we are risk management. In that, causality assessment, signal detection, risk management plans, pharmacoepidemiology, pharmacogenetics, and pharmacogenomics. So this slide is also we have to explain one by one. What I mean by causality assessment? Causality refers to the relationship of given adverse event to a specific drug. Causality determination or assessment of often difficult because of the lack of clear-cut or reliable data. In order to determine causality, what is the cause between an adverse event and a drug, one must first exclude the possibility that there were other possible causes or contributing factors. What do you mean by signal detection? The WHO defines a safety signal as reported information on a possible causal relationship between adverse event and a drug, the relationship between unknown or incompletely documented previously. So signal detection is an essential part of drug use and safety surveillance. So this very important, the risk factors. Okay. And then you can see ideally the goal of signal detection is to identify adverse drug reactions that were previously considered unexpected and to be able to provide guidance in the product's labeling as to how to minimize the risk of using drug in a given patient population. So now the risk management plans. When a drug is marketed, it may be used in a patient population that were not studied during drug clinical trials. Which were not studied, usually they may not have a group of children, group of elderly people, group of pregnant women, patients with comorbidities, different types of disease and different types of complication in a same patient not found in the clinical trial population. So these type of complications, unexpected adverse drug reaction, risk factors can be observed by means of pharmacovigilance study, and a different set of warning, precautions or contraindications where the drug should not be used at all. And for the product labeling may be necessary in order to maintain a positive risk benefit profile in all known populations using the drug. Pharmacoepidemiology. In pharmacoepidemiology, you can see pharmacoepidemiology is a study of the incidence of adverse drug reaction in patient population during drug agents. Pharmacoepidemiology is a bridge between both pharmacology and epidemiology. It provides a risk benefit assessment. It provides a risk benefit assessment by effect of drug in patient. Doing the study needed to provide an estimate of the probability of beneficial effects on populations, or assessing the probability of adverse effect on populations. Pharmacogenetics and pharmacogenomics, they both are interrelated subjects. Although often used interchangeable, the word of that heading, they are subtitled difference between two disciplines. Pharmacogenetics is generally regarded as a study of clinical testing of genetic variations that gives rise to different response to the drugs, including adverse drug reaction. Pharmacogenomics, on the other hand, is the broader application of genomic technologies to new drug discovery, a further characterization of older drugs, And note now the students, please have a note the following 3 slides I am showing, which we have discussed before. We have discussed 3 slides stating that factors affecting pharmacovigilance and risk factors and reportings. So these 3 of them, if you have to read, again I am repeating this one. See, factors affecting, influencing pharmacovigilance, we saw that individually you have to read disease, population, drugs, healthcare system. And when you come to adverse event reporting system, individual case safety report, coding of adverse event, seriousness determination, clinical trial reporting, spontaneous reporting, aggregate reporting, and risk management. You should know that. What is the causality assessment, signal detection, what WHO states, and risk management plans, pharmacoepidemiology, that is genetics, and pharmacogenomics. These 3 slides, if you go for as a summary, I hope the student can easily write something about pharmacovigilance. Now, pharmacovigilance in India, in 1986, adverse drug monitoring system for India proposed 12 regional centers. In 2004 and 2008, National Pharmacovigilance Program, 2 zones and 5 regional, 24 peripheral centers have been started. In 1997, you can see I have not mentioned that is Indian joined with WHO Adverse Monitoring Program, 3 centers, AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, and Kingsward Memorial Hospital, Mumbai, Maharashtra, and Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Ajmer, Rajasthan. And in 2010, we have implemented more strongly, and pharmacovigilance programs, you can see in 2010 July they launched, and they found out the goal to ensure the benefits of use of medicine outweigh the risk and thus safeguard the health of the Indian population. Till January 2017, 250 adverse drug reaction monitor center, and we have anti-retroviral therapy. We have found out about more than that is. These adverse monitoring centers have been established under the pharmacovigilance, 20 anti-retroviral therapy, 17 revised national tuberculosis programs. Centers were established and spontaneously adverse drug reactions have been reported. And the technical associated for medical science in Banaras Hindu University is an authorized person for collecting the individual case safety reports along with its follow-up and online database entry by Vigiflow software. Vigiflow software from BHU and all the primary health centers in India and communicate healthcare centers submit their adverse drug reaction to the regional center. And it was considered in India that the remedies from natural sources are safe and devoid of adverse drug reaction. But you see in Ayurveda, Sharka Samhita, which is the heart of Ayurveda, illustrates that adverse drug reactions can occur with herbal drugs also if they are compounded and dispensed inappropriately according to their system or their procedure. Hence, to put the pharmacovigilance for study of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and highly essential to provide adverse drug reaction data of Ayush drug as per WHO guidelines. And pharmacovigilance program governs and the reporting structure, if you see, they have the National Pharmacovigilance Program, Center Data, Regional Government of India, of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and the vigilance, you can see the data are coming monitoring area. In that you can see the monitoring area of approval medical colleges, hospitals, private hospitals, public health programs, and autonomous institution which comes under the Pharmacovigilance Central Drug Control Standards. Screening community and a strategy advisory community is also present. According to the Indian government, we have the program governs. And when we see multimodal practice, sometimes 2-3 systems are followed by a same patient. That is the biggest complication which can occur. Modern medicine with Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Homeo and folk tribal medicines. So these can be also cause sometimes adverse drug reaction following 2-3 system together. So when you see sometimes they used to mix up with corticosteroids in herbal medicines for eczema, rheumatoid arthritis, bronchial asthma they used to make, and also sometimes anti-epileptic. 60% of commercial samples with sodium valproate, phenytoin and carbamazepine. These are some of the drugs which are making some complications and adverse drug reactions when they are doing mixing up with herbs and together. Antibiotics, sometimes they may mix up with the glibenclamide and tolubutamide is also sometimes is a mixing up of drugs, also having issues with adverse drug reports have been identified. So these all things can be identified by means of pharmacovigilance practice. So who is responsible for pharmacovigilance in India or in the whole world? Pharmaceutical industry, practicing clinicians, academicians, nurses and paramedics or paramedics, all the other paramedic departments and the professionals, pharmacists is also having the responsibility for pharmacovigilance. Criteria for adverse drug reaction and its reporting to regulatory authority, what to report, follow events can be reported to the nearest reporting center of authority. Life-threatening event or death, hospitalization of the patient, we have told already these type of points, and the congenital abnormality if you have found out, and medical significant event if your event is considered as a serious by the physician, lack of efficacy conducted by the use of medical device or drug product, all suspected drug interactions, all known, unknown, serious, non-serious, frequent or reaction caused due to use of vaccine or drug must be reported. So this already we have given some points in the previous slides also. And you can see the adverse reporting form. In India, this is the form which we can download and we can fill it according to the details which is necessary, and it can be uploaded even by through internet and also processed in pharmacovigilance. We can remember by C, correct, and record the adverse drug reaction and adverse events. Causality assessment and analysis of adverse drug reaction. Collate, compiler collate the code in database. Compute risk benefits and suggest regulatory action. Communicate for safety of drug among stakeholders. So this is very important for pharmacovigilance. When to report? All spontaneous cases should be reported within 10 days. All suspected adverse drugs should be reported as soon as possible, because over-reporting is always better than under-reporting. Death even must be reported as soon as possible. Within all other serious adverse drug reaction, even needed to report within 7 days only. All non-serious cases must be reported within 30 days. Report delay may create serious problems. Responsibility of the pharmacist and other paramedical and medical health workers who involved in this. Even it is an responsibility of the any person, any public or even the patient. Who can report? Medical specialties, pharmacists, dentists, midwives, and along with the healthcare professionals, patients' relatives, witness, and any common person after medical confirmation can report. And this is just a picture I have taken of a pharmacist who is smiling and standing in a pharmacy. And so it's your responsibility to take care of pharmacovigilance as a clinical pharmacist. And how to report? Duly filled adverse drug reaction reporting form needs to send to the nearest adverse drug monitoring center or directly to the national coordinating center. Dial the number which I displayed 1800-180-3024 and report adverse drug reaction, or mail to the PVPI at IPC India, or you can see net, or you can see pvi.ipcindia@gmail.com, or you can use the website of www.ipc.government.in, or you can use this authorized adverse drug monitoring centers. Can be authorized adverse drug monitoring centers can be used. Where to report? Regional or zonal centers have been proposed to established in India, and Central Drug Standard Control Organization CDSCO, which is the first adverse drug collected center, zonal center in the north and the eastern ends. And you can see the list of organization: zonal and sub-zonal office. Zonal Center Ahmedabad, Zonal Center Hyderabad, and North Zonal Center Ziadabad, Sub-Zonal Office Ziadabad, and Chandigarh, Sub-Zonal Jammu, and East Center Kolkata, and Airport and Sea Office Kolkata, West Zonal Center Mumbai, and also Airport and Sea Office Mumbai, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Office Navi Mumbai, and South Zone Center in Chennai, Airport and Sea Office, Subzonal Port Office Chennai, and the Port Office Kochi, and even in Bangalore. So a carrier you should know about the carrier in pharmacovigilance. It's a very interesting carrier in the European Union. And also in India also nowadays it has to be developed, and it has to be given an opportunity for the pharmacists to enter into the pharmacovigilance department and find the pharmacovigilance job or drug safety position abroad can also great opportunity to those seeking a career in this sector, and opportunity and prevents, although generally is a great companies. And you can see in pharmacovigilance, drug safety associates, officers, scientists and coordinators are the professional sectors which is available for the job opportunity in pharmacovigilance, and responsibility will be processed with the senior specialty management roles, and also in developed knowledge and specific specialty areas such as medical writing, auditing, and medical affairs or quality assurance is important to know about pharmacovigilance person. Those who seek the role of drug safety and pharmacovigilance could hold the science, degree in nursing, degree in pharmacy, or degree in medical degree. And the career, there are postgraduate courses could be benefit if you bring. There should be. And candidates seeking for the sector of master in pharmacovigilance and reporting, the report writing, signal detecting, risk management, as well as providing through understanding of the regulatory body around the world. Now the students may be knowing what is the point of report writing, signal detection, risk management, and we have seen all this slide. I told you to read the previous slides which I have shown as a confirmation to know about what are the factors affecting pharmacovigilance and why we need pharmacovigilance, and what is the risk management, and how to reports which can be made. All these slides are very important for you to go for examination point of view and to write detail about pharmacovigilance. Instead of going for you read once, you can write, you can do miraculous answers which can be easily impress the person who is correcting yours. And so it's very important for pharmacovigilance. What type of job which is available in European Union? You can see the remuneration is more than 25,000 to 60,000 euro for yearly salary which can be obtained for a pharmacovigilance person. So it's an important opportunity in European Union. And when you see the associates, what are the monitor? What they the monitor track adverse events and medical related for information. Drug safety managers and directors organize and process the reporting on the drug safety reports and review trial related documents and order to monitor the drug safety profile of specific products. So in job opportunity in India for pharmacovigilance, drug safety associate and officers job are offered, and the role of drug safety associates is a very unique job, and it's a very unique job, and generally the drug safety associates work in a team, and each one of having their own set of responsibility to fulfill. They usually work in pharmacovigilance department, and one who is working in a drug safety or pharmacovigilance function to earn yearly salary of 7 lakhs to 8 lakhs per year. And specialization, knowledge and skill required for pharmacovigilance associates. So experience and relevant safety database and related software applications the person should study, and proven experience in customer handling and the relationship, proven ability to perform task risk management, and proven people of management skills, and also must have good presentation skill and ability to give the presentations, and knowledge of shelf-life, industry and life cycle of the drug is needed. So this is a very good opportunity for a well-defined pharmacist, and relevant product of the industry knowledge is also needed. So pharmacists are having the basic and the very important future prospects of, you can see the future prospects, what is happening now before. You can see at present the drug controller general in India, that is DCGI, Drug Controller General of India, should act quickly to improve pharmacovigilance so as to integrate the good pharmacovigilance practice, GPP, instead of always talking about GMP, GLP. You can go for good pharmacovigilance practice and good clinical practice we have studied. So good pharmacovigilance practice was implemented as a future prospect of pharmacovigilance in India into the process and the producers to help ensure regulatory compliance and enhance the clinical trial safety and the post-marketing surveillance. And in this you can see here, and apparently the requirement of professional specialty is needed. A combination view of pharmacogenomics and a clinical requirements are needed for the future study. And that helps to identify factors that increase the risk of unwanted overcomes from the drugs therapy, and prior to the commencing drug treatment, and the tailoring of drug treatment for individual patients can be benefited. So you can see here in the future, furthermore, it is responsible of India of entire campaign to improve the pharmacovigilance knowledge and increase the number of adverse drug reactions report up to the gold standard level established by WHO. And even I suggest that is pharmaceutical manufacturers are required to submit through its qualified person for pharmacovigilance all the reports they receive from healthcare providers to the national authority. And if you see one more point, hence pharmacovigilance for medicinal product, safety to help the patient get well and to manage optimally or ideally, and avoid illness in collecting or collective responsibility of industry and drug regulatory and clinicians and other health professionals, and the financial support and further projects should help to achieve a more comprehensive pharmacovigilance activity in India. And my more important suggestion is, that is, for example, we have a course in pharmacy and a PharmD course which is not able to give a proper placement in India, where to put still our organization are finding difficult for them to put in a stage, because 6 years of course studying and getting a doctorate in pharmacy, and he is finding his area where to work. This is the place the Indian government can take an action, put every kabale, appoint the PharmD and pharmacists everywhere and tell them to govern and tell them to inspect in the pharmacovigilance, even in internet facilities. There are online selling, there are a lot of adverse reactions which is taking place. There is a lot of self-medication, lot of unprescribed drugs sold by the online marketing. So this has to be stopped, and this has to be done by the each and every pharmacist responsibility to fight for this, and also we will improve the pharmacovigilance in India to establish in a more profile manner than the WHO, which is insisted by us to have a pharmacovigilance in India. Thank you for being with me. I hope this is a lecture which I have given. Thank you.